All right, if you're moving to Henderson, Nevada, and you keep hearing two names over and over again, it's usually Cadence and Inspirada. And I totally get it because on paper, they both sound like the same thing. Master plan community, parks, pools, newer homes, family-friendly vibe. But here's the truth. These two communities live differently. Cadence feels like East Henderson's big value play with a huge park backbone and a strong mix of first-time buyers, move-up buyers, and a major 55-plus component. Inspirada feels like West Henderson's curated lifestyle-driven community with more of that planned suburban rhythm and a strong move-up buyer presence.
I'm Cruzette Hydron. I've lived in Las Vegas for over 40 years. Welcome to my channel, where local insight meets real guidance.
So today I'm doing a full comparison, amenities, schools, builders, home styles, price ranges, and who typically lives in each, what the market feels like, and what daily life looks like when you actually live there. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits your lifestyle and your budget. And just so you know where I'm coming from, I've lived in Henderson and Las Vegas for decades. And I've watched these areas evolve in real time. I'm not just reading a brochure. I'm telling you what it feels like when you drive it, tour it, and compare it as a buyer. So whether you're relocating to Henderson, Nevada, or you're already local and trying to decide between Cadence versus Inspirada, this is going to save you some time. Let's start with location, because location is not just about a pin on the map. It's about how your daily life flows. Cadence is in East Henderson. Think Lake Mead Parkway and the Boulder Highway corridor. That matters because East Henderson generally gives you more home for the money, and you're closer to things like the Galleria area or Galleria Mall, quicker routes towards Lake Las Vegas, and easier access for people who work toward older Henderson, Sunrise, or even parts of Las Vegas that are more east. Inspirada is in West Henderson, closer to St. Rose Parkway area, Volunteer Boulevard, and that whole growth pocket where you've got newer retail and that everything is newer and shiny feel. You're also closer to the Raiders practice facility area, and you're in the path of West Henderson expansion. Here's a simple way to think about it. If your life revolves around the St. Rose corridor, I-15 access, and the newer West Henderson growth, Inspirada tends to fit naturally. If you want a master plan lifestyle with more affordability and a huge Central Park core, and you're okay being on the east side of Henderson, Cadence becomes very compelling. And yes, both are Henderson, but they feel like different chapters of Henderson. Now let's talk about origins because this affects how the community feels. Inspirada started earlier, and you can feel that it was built with a strong lifestyle identity from day one. It's intentionally designed to feel like a connected town, lots of neighborhood pockets that funnel you into parks and gathering areas. It's known for community events, residents who actually use the parks, and that we live here on purpose energy. Cadence is newer in its major growth period, and it's built with a big, bold concept, a huge Central Park spine, and a community plan that can serve a wide range of buyers. It's also designed to scale. It's not trying to be a cute small town. It's more like a large modern master plan where you've got multiple neighborhoods, multiple builders, and a very practical lifestyle orientation. So if you like the idea of a community that feels established in its routines and identity, Inspirada often reads that way. If you like the idea of a growing community with a lot of new inventory, newer phases, and more options at different price points, Cadence often reads that way. Let's talk about size and build out because this impacts your experience. So when a master plan community is still building, you get more new construction options, also more construction activity, sometimes more incentives, and evolving commercial plans. When a community is closer to being built out, you get a more settled neighborhood vibe, but less new inventory and sometimes tighter resale competition. Cadence is larger in footprint and total home count at full build-out. It's designed to ultimately be a massive East Henderson hub. That means ongoing development, continued phases, and opportunities for people who want to buy new construction without feeling like they missed the wave. So Inspirada is also large, but it's closer to that maturing community stage where many neighborhoods are established and you're seeing more resale conversations along new builds. So here's a translation. Cadence can feel like growth and opportunity, while Inspirada can feel like lifestyle and stability. Neither is better, it's what you want. Okay, the amenities. This is where people get excited and also where people accidentally buy the wrong community because they only saw a few photos. Let's take a deep dive on this. So Cadence is known for its massive Central Park concept. This is a big deal. It's not just a tiny neighborhood. It's the kind of park that becomes the heartbeat of the community. You've got wide open green space, walking paths, play areas, community zones designed for families and gatherings. If you have kids or if you have dogs or you just want that I can go outside and actually use my neighborhood feeling, Cadence leans into that hard. Cadence also includes amenities like splash pads, water play areas, which in Las Vegas is basically a luxury item for summer survival. It's also designed for active lifestyles. Think basketball, pickleball, trails, that type of neighborhood where people are outside. Now, let me expand on something that a lot of people miss about Cadence. It's not just one central park, okay? Cadence actually has multiple parks integrated throughout the master plan, and several of them have been developed in partnership with the City of Henderson. So in total, Cadence is planned to include more than a dozen parks and open space areas when fully built out, including the 50-acre Central Park as the anchor. You also have neighborhood pocket parks, dog parks, walking trails, and additional community green spaces that break up the residential sections. So that matters because it spreads activity out, right? So you're not just driving across the community just to use one amenity. You'll often find a park within walking distance depending on which neighborhood you're in. Now, a huge differentiator in Cadence is heritage at Cadence. That's the 55 plus component. That matters because it changes the demographic mix and it changes the feel in certain pockets. Heritage tends to attract retirees and active adults who want that resort style living, and it adds another layer of desirability for people planning their next life chapter. So if you're moving to Henderson and thinking long-term, Cadence gives you options because you can buy in a standard neighborhood now and you can still have a long-term plan that includes 55 plus living later. Now let's compare that to Inspirada. Inspirada is known for having 4 major community parks that serve as the primary gathering hub. Each park has its own identity. You'll see pools, splash pads, sports courts, open grass areas, event spaces. Inspirada's park systems feels more like multiple neighborhood centers instead of one dominant central spine. Inspirada is famous for its events. It has that we do stuff together vibe, farmers markets, seasonal events, community gatherings. That creates a specific type of lifestyle. Some people love that. Other people are like, I want my amenities without feeling like I'm supposed to socialize. Know yourself. Also, Inspirada tends to feel more curated aesthetically. Streetscapes, home spacing, and the overall neighborhood look often reads more uniform and polished depending on the pocket. So the difference is this. Cadence feels like one large central park backbone supported by multiple additional parks and open spaces throughout the master plan. Inspirada feels like several defined community hubs that anchor different sections of the neighborhoods. So if you're the type of person who wants options and likes the idea of multiple green spaces close to home, both communities deliver. The layout and the vibe just feel different. Here's something I tell my clients when we tour both communities on the same day. In Cadence, you feel the scale, bigger central park, wider open space design, and a more expansive footprint. In Inspirada, you feel the intentional clustering, parks tucked into sections, streetscapes that feel curated, and a slightly more compact master plan experience. Neither is better, it's just a different design philosophy. Now, let's talk builders and home product because this matters more than people realize. In Cadence, you'll see builders that often serve the entry level to mid move-up space. That means you'll find more attainable new construction options, more straightforward floor plans, and neighborhoods designed for value and livability. You'll also see a wider mix of product types depending on the phase. Some areas are more first-time buyer friendly, and some areas push further into move-up. Cadence can be a very practical decision when you want a newer home, you want amenities, and you want to stay under a certain price threshold. In Inspirada, you tend to see more move-up product, more design-forward options, depending on the builder and the phase. You'll also see higher-end builders in the mix, which pulls the price ceiling up. That's why Inspirada can range from mid-level pricing into the higher price points more easily. And this is important because the builder mix influences the resale market. If a community has more move-up product, it often attracts buyers who stay longer, upgrade within the community, and treat it like a long-term home base. If a community has more entry-level product, you often see more turnover, not because people dislike it, but because life changes, families grow, and buyers move up. Neither is a negative, it's just market reality. Let's talk schools. I'm going to say something important here. School zoning can change, and families should always verify school zoning before making an offer. But here's how to think about it at the lifestyle level. Cadence is in the East Henderson zone, and families often compare it to other East Side options. If you're a family prioritizing proximity to specific schools, you want to check exactly what pocket you're in because phases matter. Inspirada has access to West Henderson school options and also sits near charter options that some families consider, including Pinecrest. And Pinecrest is also found in Cadence as well. Again, you'll verify your specific address, but in general, Inspirada attracts a lot of the families who are intentional about school planning. When you're choosing between Cadence versus Inspirada in Henderson, Nevada, decide what matters most. If schools are your top priority, we can map the exact address, the zoning, and even driving routes to the campuses you care about. If lifestyle is top priority, amenities and commuting might drive the decision more. Now, convenience. This is where people either feel at home or feel annoyed. Cadence is not isolated, and this is important because East Henderson gets misunderstood. Within and immediately surrounding Cadence, you already have growing retail presence, including neighborhood strip centers, restaurants, and service-based businesses. The Boulder Highway and Lake Mead Parkway corridors continue to expand commercially. You're also just minutes from the gallery at Sunset Mall area, which gives you major retail anchors, grocery options, dining chains, and everyday essentials. You're also within reasonable distance to established medical services, including Henderson Hospital and other healthcare providers in the broader Henderson area. So while Cadence may not feel like it has a giant lifestyle retail plaza sitting in the middle of the master plan yet, it is very connected to existing commercial infrastructure. For buyers who value convenience but also value price per square foot, this becomes a strategic advantage. Inspirada is close to the St. Rose Parkway corridor, which has a ton of retail dining, Costco, and that whole West Henderson convenience vibe. It's one of the reasons people choose Inspirada. They want new construction and they want to be close to the newer retail ecosystem. Both communities are within reasonable distance to major medical options in Henderson, but the experience can feel different depending on where your doctors are and which corridor you prefer driving. So again, it comes back to your lifestyle pattern. If you want newer retail and West Henderson growth, Inspirada often feels easier. If you're comfortable with East Henderson corridors and want value, Cadence can be the smarter financial decision. Let's talk demographics. Not stereotypes, real patterns, Cadence demographic. You'll see first-time buyers, young families, and a strong 55-plus presence because of heritage. That creates a community within a wide age range. It's not unusual to see kids playing at the splash pad and also see retirees walking the trails. That mix can be a huge positive because it creates a balanced neighborhood. The Inspirada demographic, you'll see a lot of established families and move-up buyers, people who are planning to stay, professionals who want a community feel. There's often a sense of pride of ownership that shows up in how neighborhoods look and how residents engage. So when someone asks me which community is better, my answer is Cadence is often better for value, flexibility, and family plus 55 plus options. Inspirada is often better for a curated lifestyle and West Henderson convenience. But the best community is the one that matches your lifestyle. Let's talk price because this is usually the deciding factor. Cadence pricing. Cadence tends to offer a lower entry point. That means more opportunities for buyers who want a newer home, modern layout, and amenities without climbing too high in price. Depending on the home type, you'll see everything from entry-level homes to larger move-up properties, plus the 55-plus segment, which has its own pricing dynamics. What I see in the market, Cadence can be more sensitive to interest rates and incentives. When the market slows, builders may offer incentives that make buying new more attractive. Inspirada pricing, now Inspirada tends to have a higher entry point and a higher ceiling. You're more likely to see higher priced product because of the builder mix and the overall positioning of the community. It's often more competitive in the mid-move-up range because there's strong demand for that West Henderson lifestyle. What I see in the market is that Inspirada can hold pricing more steadily in certain ranges because buyers are shopping lifestyle and location, not just square footage. So here's one pro tip. When comparing Cadence versus Inspirada, Don't just compare list price. Compare the HOA costs, lot premiums, upgrades, and what you actually get for your money. Now let's talk market feel, because this is where buyers win or lose. The Cadence market feel. You often have more new construction inventory options. That can mean more negotiating power, more choices, and sometimes better terms. Resales can still be very competitive, but the presence of ongoing new builds changes the dynamics. Here's the buyer strategy in Cadence. If you're a buyer who values negotiating leverage, you might like Cadence. We can compare resale options to builder options and see what makes the most sense. Here's the Inspirada market feel. Inventory can feel tighter, especially in popular price bands. When a community is more mature and buyers love the lifestyle, homeowners tend to stay longer, which means fewer listings at any given time. Buyer strategy in Inspirada, you want to be ready. Strong pre-approval, clear terms, smart timing. Sometimes the best home in Inspirada is the one you move fast on because it checks the lifestyle boxes that are hard to replicate elsewhere. So how do you decide? You're going to choose Cadence if you want strong amenities with a big Central Park feel. You want a more approachable price point. You like having both family-friendly and 55-plus options within one master plan. You want more new construction opportunities and potential incentives. You're going to choose Inspirada if you want that West Henderson convenience near the St. Rose corridor. You want a more curated neighborhood feel and community event culture. You are a move-up buyer prioritizing lifestyle and long-term stability. You like the builder mix that includes higher-end product. And if you're still unsure, the best thing you can do is drive both on the same day. Same time, same traffic, same errands, because the right community will feel obvious once you match it to your lifestyle. If you're moving to Henderson, Nevada, and you're deciding between Cadence and Inspirada, I can help you compare them based on your budget, commute, school needs, and the lifestyle you actually want, not just what looks good online. Make sure you subscribe to Las Vegas Living Group because I break down Henderson communities like this all the time, and I'll also be doing deeper videos on specific neighborhoods inside each master plan. And if you want my personalized list of homes in Cadence or Inspirada based on your exact price range and lifestyle, my contact info is below. Shoot me a message and I'll send it over. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video.